Hey, 30 Days to Greatness, next level training. This is Buyer 101 2, the importance of inventory and showing styles. Those are two different ideas. So we're going to have kind of two halves to this. So let's get started. The buyers love working with someone that knows the market, really underline, capitalize, I guess, knows, right? Buyers need to know you know the market really well. It gives them confidence. And there's one surefire way to know it really well. Walk through houses every day at various price points in your markets. Walk through the houses every day in various price points in your markets. Every day, walk through 3 to 5 houses in your markets. You can do this by how you drive home during the day, right? You can get on the MLS the night before. Yep, actually plan ahead a little bit. Find, 3 to 5 houses, and one day walk through houses under 200,000, starter homes, if you will, and say, okay, here's 3 to 5 houses in this market at this price point. And the point is, you need to do it every day, not always the same prices. Another day, walk through houses between 200 and 350. Another day, walk through houses between 350 and 500. You get the idea. But multiple houses, right? 3 to 5 every day. And, don't forget condos, high-rise apartment style and townhouse style. And sometimes there's a sort of converted apartments, right, into condos that are yet another style, if you will, because they're not really the high-rise apartment style condo. Take notes and follow up with seeing which they actually sell for. So you walk through houses every day. You have some notes. This one had, a nice kitchen, but a small backyard. And this one had, really take some notes and follow up. The hot sheets on the MLS will help you do this. And so it's important that you're taking the MLS classes here in our area, the Real Comp classes, and understand how to use that tool. It is the tool for you to be an expert in. Then you'll know the market. When you've really gotten to walk through a lot of houses and you've understood what they're selling for and why this one sold for more than that one, even though on paper it was really similar, well, when you walk through it, you could see the difference. You'll know the absolute best houses around for around 500K when someone is asking you what $500,000 will buy. You'll be able to say, oh, well, it'll buy this. And you'll run down the square footage and the kind of finishes. You'll know when something lists overpriced or when it lists underpriced, which might be even more valuable than knowing when it lists overpriced, right? As soon as a listing pops and you go, wow, that's a really good price for that house in this area. Maybe I need to call my investor friend, or maybe, I have somebody who's looking for just that sort of thing and we need to jump on it now. You'll know what kind of finishes your investor client needs to do to get top market on the back end. Everybody asks you, well, what could I sell it for? Well, that depends. How are you finishing it, right? So it matters. You'll be an actual market expert and you can talk like one when you're out and about. And trust me, it pays off. But not just when you're out and about. You can talk like an actual market expert when you're calling your data bank and chatting about your day. Say, yeah, today I was in 4 houses for all priced around 400,000, and you're just dropping it into conversation. You'll be able to build real relationships because you will be known as a realtor that is an actual market expert when you open your mouth and talk. And really, I keep trying to say what we say and how we say it is kind of the number one tool for being great at this job. But my point about real relationships is that you won't just be talking about what's wrong with your favorite baseball team's bullpen. Those are the relief pitch. It doesn't matter if you don't know baseball. It doesn't matter. You won't just be talking about the same things everyone else is talking about. You'll be talking about what a professional realtor talks about. So not only will you be known, liked, and trusted, you'll be known, liked, and trusted as a professional realtor, which is where you need to be known, liked, and trusted. People will see you in a new light, and it will only cost you about an hour a day. People will see you in a new light, a market expert. So when their friend says, "Hey, you know anybody who's a good realtor in this part of town?" Yeah, I do. Call Paul. He's a great realtor in that part of town. And it'll only cost you about an hour a day. That is to say, it won't cost you any money. And frankly, you need to do it because that's what a professional realtor does. Your knowledge will feed your social media feeds, right? Your knowledge will say, hey, I was in these houses and Facebook posts and LinkedIn articles and so on and so forth. And people will see, the world will see you as a market expert. Your knowledge will feed your newsletters when you send out newsletters once a month. Your knowledge will create the persona you need to be known as a market expert, okay? Just today, my dentist asked me about the $1 million listing on his street, and I could talk to him intelligently about it. Well, maybe not so intelligently. You know how you talk to your dentist with because they got your mouth open? It matters in your calls, your content, and your conversations around town. So check out this quick video I put together on this particular subject. Let me pull it up for you. Market expert knows the inventory cold. So being a market expert means actually knowing your inventory. If you owned a dress shop or a shoe store, you'd know your inventory cold. You'd know what kind of shoes you have to fit a wider foot. You'd know what is for evening wear and what is for sunny days, and you'd know your inventory cold. Well, you're a realtor, so your inventory is out there, and you have to get out there and see it. You won't make any money sitting around the house or the office waiting for people to come to you. But if you're out there and in touch with your inventory, then people, when they ask you questions, you'll have answers. Just the other day, it was a 4th of July barbecue. Our neighbors invited us over, and the host introduced me to somebody new to the Royal Oak area, and they said, are you a Royal Oak expert? I said, well, try me. And they started to, well, what could we buy for this kind of money? And I could tell them, you know, they wanted this many bedrooms and bathrooms and so forth. And I said, well, I just saw 4 houses that fit the description you just gave me. My favorite one was this one over here. And if it's still available, you should check it out. But I like that one over the other 3 for these reasons. And it may be those reasons aren't as important to you as they are to me. But in just a couple of sentences, they knew they were talking to an expert in the market that they were interested in. Just today, I was at the dentist, and the dentist asked me about $1 million listing down the street from where he lives. And I was able to tell him what I thought it would really sell for. And then he said, wow, are there other $1 million houses? I said, yeah, in Royal Oak, there's been several at these prices, da-da-da-da-da. So in an instant, he knew he was talking to a Royal Oak expert. And the opportunities out there, and it isn't just, you know, really expensive houses, but what does a starter home go for? And what should I be looking for in finishes in this sort of price point? And quickly, you can articulate things that let them know that you know stuff and they need to know you. And that's really what you're after, that you know stuff and they need to know you. So spend time walking through the houses, know the market, follow up on what they sold for. Tell the people in your social media feeds and in your newsletters and in whatever, you know, in a video you release on a Saturday morning, that the market is thus, and they'll know that you're the one they need to talk to. Okay, go get them. So that's what I'm saying. In an instant, you can turn if you have that knowledge at your fingertips. And it takes, you know, knowing the inventory cold. And the way you know the inventory cold is to walk through the houses. So let's take a look at the second half of this, though. Knowing the inventory will hook the buyer, but showing can land them as a lifelong client that sends you referrals. That is to say, the style with which you show. The key is in building trust through your showing style. This is what I mean by that. Of course, we skip some steps here, by the way. For instance, the interview process that helps you understand what to show them, but we'll cover that later. For now, we're jumping into how you show them, into the actual showing. Showing styles vary, and you'll find your own ways as you go, but let me recommend showing with what I call a critical eye as a style that builds trusts. If you beat them to pointing out problems with the house, then they'll understand that you're on their side and not just trying to sell them the first thing they see. You get that? So before they walk in and, you be the first one to show them, well, this could be an issue, and explain why. And then they'll know, oh, well, this guy apparently is watching out for me, right? And that matters. If they have a question about a potential problem and you try to smooth it over, you'll weaken trust. You don't want to, oh, that's no big deal, because no, if they see that this could be a problem, you'll want to talk that through with them, not just, oh, that's not a big deal. And, for instance, what comes to mind? How about little stress cracks or something, right? Sometimes there's a little crack in the old plaster, but you can tell that it's just a small stress crack. It doesn't matter. The point is, if they see it and they think it's a problem, talk to them about it. Don't try to smooth it over. You'll weaken trust. Find them the best house in their price point for them. Find them the best house in their price point for them. By that, I mean, I say the best for them because this isn't a house for you. They may care more about the upscale finishes than you. They may be more willing to do work on a house than you are. They may value easy on and off to the expressway more than you. I personally don't like living next to the expressway. The list is really long when you consider what one person may prefer more than another, right? I mean, you could talk about a lot of things that may be more important to them than they are to you, or so forth. And the point is, you're looking for the best house for them. That's why I tell you, I believe my job, I tell them, I'm sorry. That's why I tell them, I believe my job is to be the cold, hard facts guy about costs and value and so forth. And they need to fill me in on the warm fuzzies and what feels like home to them, right? So I tell them, I'll be looking at them as they look at the house, but I'll also be looking with a critical eye at the roof, windows, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, kitchens, and baths, right? Because those 7 things are things that can eat up a budget really fast. Notice I didn't mention the foundation. Of course, I'm looking at the foundation, but I tell them they can fix some of the 7 things if they buy it right at the right price. By buying it right, I mean at the right price. They don't, however, want to buy a bad foundation. Only the hardiest investors should consider repairing foundations, usually. I say usually because I actually had a client who his dad owned a basement repair business. He told me, yeah, we're in the business of basements. This doesn't scare me at all. Well, yeah, but how many clients like that can you have, right? They don't have a huge family. They had, I think, 2 or 3 kids. Anyway, the point is, foundations, I usually tell them, well, let's go find a house that doesn't have a foundation problem. But the other 7 things, not that you need them all to be perfect, because no house is perfect, but we want to buy it right at a price that makes sense. So we have to assess beyond that new carpet smell and the cute furniture that won't be there after they buy it anymore, right? You say, oh, honey, it's so cute. Well, it's so cute because paint and carpet and, these cute little furnishings are relatively cheap, and the furnishings are leaving. We want to look at, yeah, but the furnace looks like it's going to conk out any day, or the roof looks like it's maybe got a year or 2, and you just spent all your money on your down payment. You're not ready to replace a roof, et cetera, right? Those things that cost money. Well, take a quick look at this video about what I'm saying about showing homes, because you really can go a long way into building trust and not just in this client, but in the years to come. Okay, so we're talking about showing houses. I thought we'd use our office since it's a house after all. It was built as a house. And I like to tell people there are 7 things. I'd hold up 7 fingers, but I'd drop my selfie stick. There are 7 things I'm looking for when I walk into a house. And they are the roof. Oop, can't get a good look at it. The windows, right? So I can see those when I pull up. The roof, the windows, the HVAC, heating and cooling, the electrical, the plumbing, kitchens and bathrooms, because those are things that you spend a lot of money on when you have to refinish them all. And you don't need all 7 of them to be perfect to have a good showing, and the reason I'm doing this is so that they know I'm concerned about them, that that I want them to see everything that's wrong with the house. In fact, just the other day, somebody called me about a listing in Birmingham, and it was a great price, and it was close to the park that they were interested in. But I told him, I said, don't let that park make all your decisions. You've got to look at this house with a negative eye too and see the flaws, not just the great park. Obviously, we can't fix the location. It's next to the park. You can still fix the house, though, I told him, but you want to know what it is you're looking at. Anyway, so when it comes to a house, I take a look at the roof. Now, I tell them there's 2 kinds of roofs, generally speaking. We're mostly dealing with asphalt shingles here in this communities, and there's the architectural or 3-dimensional type of asphalt shingle, or the 3-tab, we call it, the one that lays flat. And I talked to him about it. I'm not going to do it all with you right now, but how do you know when it's older or when it looks like it has a lot of life left in it? Well, you have to know a few things about houses, and I'm pointing them out, right? So when I show them houses, I show them houses with that critical eye to help them know that I am on their side. So when we go in, we say, okay, so this is lovely. It's got a fireplace. It's got refinished hardwood floors. That's nice. It's got, neutral colors so they could see their things in here. But for instance, in this particular house, I happen to know right up there in that corner, can you see some discoloration? I happen to know that there was an ice dam that let some moisture in last winter, and the result is it needs a proper fix. And so I'm also going to wonder, does that look like it happened over here by the chimney? Because there's usually flashing around the chimney in a roof that goes bad, right? Well, the point is, they know I'm on their side, that I'm looking for things to look out for them. And so, do we have ceramic tile in the kitchen, or do we have this kind of vinyl flooring? Yeah, we have vinyl. Do we have granite kitchens, countertops, or do we have this Formica? Yeah, we have Formica. So just that's fine, but we need to pay accordingly. We don't need to overpay if it's underfinished, because we want to, and maybe some people don't care about those things and they're really looking for that bargain purchase price. But last time I'll say it, we're showing the house with a little bit of a critical eye. Let them tell you, oh, don't worry about it. My uncle does remodels. He can change those kitchen countertops for me at a great price. Perfect. See? So be on their side, and they'll appreciate you, and then they'll share your name with their friends and family. Okay, that's the idea when showing a house. 7 things you're looking for: roof, windows, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, kitchens and bathrooms. Paint's cheap. You can get clean carpet. Okay, that's the idea. Go get them. So that's the idea. Go get them. Listen, again, I want to say, this is all about you doing. Listening to my fuzzy face and bald head rant and rave about these concepts won't make a difference in your business. It won't make a difference in your life. It won't move the needle like you want to. The only thing that will move the needles are your behaviors, your actions, what you do. And so I can talk to them blue in the face, probably more like red in the face, but I can talk a lot. Trust me. Anyone who knows me knows I can talk. Doesn't matter. You need to get out and do. And one of the first things you need to do is walk through houses every day in the markets that you want to sell in. So you can be a real market expert. You can have real relationships because you can be known as a real estate professional. Okay. All right. Tag, you're it.